floor. Hi,
May I help you, young lady?
I'm a wood carpenter and I got the moves like Jagger.
And I'm Daddy, and I got the riffs like Richards.
Oh!
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Brian Carpenter, the sports editor of the Record Journal, back from my 1 week hiatus. I'd like to thank Thelma Dickinson for filling in for me last week. It is now week 7 of the Record Journal Athlete of the Week contest, and welcome to the official Exile on South Broad Street edition of the Record Journal Athletes of the Week. After 2 weeks out on the field, we're back in our home office, and we are at pretty much the end of the line and yet the start of the line as far as the spring season goes. Because while the regular season has just ended, we are in the midst of the conference tournaments. Both Cheshire and Wilcox Tech doing very well in their respective tournaments. We'll get to that in a bit. And of course, the state tournaments start next week when we get back from Memorial Day weekend. Believe it or not, we are here at Memorial Day weekend at the threshold of summer. Pairings will be coming out Thursday and Friday for baseball, softball, lacrosse, and volleyball. We look forward to seeing those. Looking forward to seeing our teams make some deep runs in the spring. We always have teams make deep runs in the spring. Of course, Cheshire softball with the state championship last year in Class L. We will see if they will defend. We'll see if they'll defend their SEC tournament championship. They beat Foran today. It is Wednesday as I speak with you. Cheshire beat Foran, and Wilcox Tech, they've advanced to the Constitution State Conference Finals in baseball and softball. Pretty good stuff there. We'll talk more about that too, because one of our nominees for this coming week is from Wilcox Tech. We'll tell you soon. First, we must go over our Week 6 winners. If you will recall, last week we were down at the Wallingford Buick GMC, the sponsor of the Record Journal Athlete of the Week contest. We had a pretty good slate of nominees with the girls. We had those track athletes, Akia Providence from Lyman Hall and Megan Biscoglio from Southington, the pole vaulter who cleared 12 feet to set a new school record. But last week's winner was the 11th hour candidate, Makenzie Meyer from Maloney Softball. And this is fitting because Maloney Softball is the 11th hour team. They won their last 4 games of the regular season, including their finale against Platt on Tuesday, to qualify for the Class L tournament. The 17th time in Coach Scott Oresco's 17 years at the helm on the east side. Congratulations to Makenzie. We caught up with her the other day at Maloney. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Makenzie Meyer. I'm from Maloney Softball, and I'm this week's Athlete of the Week. Like I was telling people to vote. My family was voting. My mom was getting people to vote. She put it on Facebook, and like everyone was saying, done, like they voted. My grandma was trying to figure out how to vote because she didn't understand how to vote, and she was scared. It's been a little like stressful. Like there's a lot of pressure. It's just like takes some getting used to. Yeah, it takes like, I feel like I need time to warm up like throughout the season, and like I feel like I'm in a good spot now, and it took a while. It'll be a good accomplishment for us because we've been like all over the place this year. Like it will be fun and have us have more time with each other. Well, I started off in Little League, and I've been going on ever since. I get lessons, and I put my best into it. I like to try and get more pitches down as we go on. Like next year I'd like to have more pitches. As long as like we get outs, I think that's the best. Strikeouts are good, but it's better just to get an out. Well, I think my best pitch is a fastball, but change at times it can be really good, especially when the person is ahead of the ball when they swing. And drop needs some working on, but I'll get there eventually. I used to play volleyball, but not anymore. Played like volleyball throughout middle school and a little here. But I've been playing softball longer than that, like longer than I ever played volleyball, and I just stayed with softball. I started softball when I was in first grade, and a lot of the girls played Little League with me, and I met a lot of people through it, and a lot of them are still here today, playing for Maloney. Not really any secret handshakes, but we always do like the horseshoe, and Areska always comes around and gives each other gives everyone like fists, and we do that before the game. We're always like just doing cheers for like people. In the infield for the pitcher, when they throw it around, the pitcher always gives everyone a kind of like a high five thing, and then after they throw it around the horn, and then we start the inning. That happens every inning. My favorite part, I think, just the energy and the excitement you get when you play. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to play.
We hope you enjoyed that clip of Makenzie Meyer from Maloney Spartan softball, and we are certainly happy that the Maloney Spartans will be representing Meriden in the Class L tournament, which starts next week. They'll learn their seeding on Friday. Though if you're of mathematic inclination, you could go right on the CAC website and kind of size it up and see who they will be playing. No need to wait, because that's what we'll be doing when we get out of here, right, Pete? You know it. All right, that was our girls' winner from Week 6. Among the boys from Week 6, if you remember, we had some great pitching performances. They were so good that guys who threw great games weren't even on the list. You remember, nominee number 1 was Gary Costello, the guy who no-hit West Haven for Cheshire. We also had Devyn McCarty, who 4-hit Plainville the same night he hit a grand slam. And also we had from track Camden Wallace, the sprinter and jumper down at Sheehan. Our winner was, drumroll Charlie Watts. Charlie's not here. The winner was from Platt, city's hit leader this season, Mr. Devyn McCarty from Platt. We caught up with him before Tuesday night's game up at SEPA between Platt and Maloney. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Devyn McCarty, Record Journal Athlete of the Week. I'm from Platt High School. Well, the Platt community really came out for me these last 2 weeks. I don't know, it was really exciting just to be nominated. Well, my defense really helped me that game. You know, if they're making plays, I feel a lot more confident up there, and then I can, the zone almost expands a little, so I feel like I can hit more spots and toy with the batter a little bit more. You know, you try and help yourself out as much as you can, but my main focus is obviously pitching, because that determines more of the game. But if I can help myself out, it's a bonus. Oh, that was great. I didn't expect that at all. But you know, I just got my pitch.
Nice rip, 1-4.
You know, after that, I kind of found my stroke hitting. I've been hitting the ball a lot harder. Just helped me out with my confidence. Just hit my spots. I don't want to give anybody a good piece to hit. Like, you got to be smart, but you want to come at batters. You don't want to shy away from the competition. I throw 3 main pitches. I toy with a 4th, but it's still in the works. I throw a fastball. It has a little tail on it, so it's kind of deceiving. I throw a curveball that it's pretty slow, so it catches them off guard, and then my changeup, which looks pretty much like my fastball, so I could get guys ahead of. Just competing, just like the competitive part. Yeah, sports, the family part of it, the competition, the workout, it's what I like. I'm excited to play at Mitchell. Coach Bosalil, my coach up there, he's a really great guy, and I just can't wait to play for him up there. It could be better, obviously, it always could be better, but we're looking to make our mark in the tournament. It's 0-0 after Maloney. Everybody's 0-0. You know, places like Double L, there's Amity, who's won it 4 years in a row. Double L, it's kind of been a mixture of, you know, a couple years ago, the 22 seed won it all. So we think that we could compete no matter who we're playing against.
That was Devyn McCarty, Platt baseball. Great season for Platt. Actually, pretty good baseball season all around, man. All 7 of our teams made the postseason. Very happy about that. Cheers, boys. We'll be catching you guys next week. And that brings us to our Week 7 nominees. We have 2 more baseball players as I look down the list. The first guy on the list, though, is not a baseball player. We go back to golf, because if there's a sport that's been really excelling this spring, aside from what's going on the diamond, it's what's going on out on the golf course. And the guy who's really, really tearing it up, Sheehan High School senior Eli Dyer, the Dyer maker. Kid's unreal right now. If you need a guy to round out a foursome this holiday weekend, give Eli Dyer a call. He has shot 6 sub-40 rounds in a row. He had 2 35s in that run. This is, of course, 9-hole rounds they play in high school. He had 2 35s in that run. And he had a 38 the other day when Sheehan beat East Haven over at the Farms to clinch their 2nd straight SEC Division II championship. Congratulations to Coach Kevin Ainsworth and the Titans. Eli Dyer follows teammate Nick Izzo as an Athlete of the Week nominee for this spring. Obviously, deservedly so. Eli has medaled 9 times, and the season ain't over yet. Congratulations, Eli Dyer. You are our first nominee for the Record Journal Athlete of the Week contest, Week 7. Now we go to baseball. And first diamond we turn to is over at Maloney High School. Believe it or not, and I'm ashamed to admit this, I just mentioned this to Pete, we have not had one Maloney baseball player nominated this season. I'm sure that hasn't passed out of you, it's noticed. And you know what, though? Maloney, back in the postseason, very good team, a lot of good players. They got a couple kids on our All-Record Journal team, which will be announced shortly. The guy who's a nominee this week, yes, it's Elliot Good. Elliot has been very, very good for Maloney as of late. He had a 4-game stretch in which he collected 12 hits. That included 2 4-hit games. And the other night against Platt, he was 2 for 4 and got him going with an RBI single, and he also scored a run. Elliot Good, you are our nominee for Maloney Baseball, long overdue for an Athlete of the Week nomination here in the spring. And for our third boys nominee, we stay on the diamond, like I said we were going to, and we go over to Wilcox Tech. Here's another guy who's been pretty much on the short list of Athletes of the Week every week. Why not? He is the guy over at Wilcox Tech, one of the best players around. Jolton Jack Rich. He is nominee number 3 for week number 7. Jack, solid all year, pitching, hitting. And the last week of the regular season, last week, he was just out of his mind. He went 8 for 9. He was hitting so well that when Wilcox Tech played Maloney, Howie Hewitt actually walked him intentionally to load the bases late in the game, obviously a close game, because the kid's been hitting the ball so well. In the regular season finale against Grasso Tech down in Pawcatuck, he was 3 for 3, Jack was. All 3 were home runs. 2 of them were grand slams. When I was talking to Dave Cronin that night when he called in his results, I said, Dave, you played down in Pawcatuck. Is that in Connecticut or Rhode Island? Because it's always good to know where you are, on the map. And Dave, who's Mr. Deadpan, very funny man, said, well, we're playing in Connecticut, but Jack hit a couple balls that landed in Rhode Island. I would have loved to see them. Well, you haven't seen Jack yet this year. Wilcox Tech will be home next week for the first round of their state tournament. And they're also playing over at Palmer Field in the CSC tournament final. They beat Abbott Tech today 2-1. They opened the tournament in their conference with a shellacking of Prince Tech on Tuesday. Jack had a bases clearing triple in that game. He was also the winning pitcher. They beat Abbott 2-1. No, I stand corrected. It was Abbott. My bad. 2-1, advance to the final. The whole point of this is, if you haven't seen Jack Rich, go to see him in the conference final at Palmer Field. They're supposed to play today, Thursday. It's going to rain, and if it does get rained out, it's supposed to be Saturday. Check the Record Journal website, though, to get the most up-to-date information. Captain Jack Rich, third nominee, Record Journal Athlete of the Week, Week 7. We move over to the girls, and I'll stop playing this soon because it's obviously distracting me. We go over to the girls. Lacrosse season is still going on for us. Both Cheshire teams are in the SEC tournament finals tonight in West Haven. Rain or shine, you know they'll play lacrosse. One team that did not make the postseason but had a good year was Lyman Hall girls. A couple of good goal scorers down there. We had one girl, Rachel Ruggiero, who led the team with 51 goals. Now, we didn't go with Rachel this week. She was an Athlete of the Week nominee in the cross-country season, but we want to acknowledge that she had 51 goals, Rachel Ruggiero for Lyman Hall. The girl we're going with from Lyman Hall is Miss Marina D. Simone, a junior midfielder. She had 42 goals, obviously second on the team in scoring. She's also a junior captain, so she's somebody that Coach Courtney Shanley is building the team around, and as she told me, Marina is the glue of the offense. And Marina, for a strong junior season, you are our first girls nominee for the Record Journal Athlete of the Week contest, Week 7. Our second girls nominee, we go across town in Wallingford over to Sheehan High School. We go out on the tennis courts, specifically the number 1 tennis court. And that is where you will find our second girls nominee, Miss Justine Hoover. She is a junior. She has been Sheehan's number 1 singles player since her freshman year. She had another good season. She has qualified for her 3rd state open, which is next weekend. She is the reigning Record Journal Tennis Player of the Year from last year, our first awards brunch. And she is an Athlete of the Week nominee here in Week 7. Glad to have you back, Justine. We got one more nominee to go before we run. And we go back to lacrosse and we go to Cheshire. Cheshire girls and boys are playing tonight at West Haven for the SEC Tournament Championships. We've got the girls on tap here because they've been in some wild games lately. The last game of the regular season, they were down at Madison to play Daniel Hand. Now, Cheshire had already clinched at least a share of the regular season title, but they were only a game ahead of Daniel Hand. So obviously, do the math, if Hand beats Cheshire, they have to share the title. Well, that did not happen. Cheshire was trailing 5-3, but they made a little rally, wound up winning 7-5. Went into the SEC tournament. The other night, they played Brantford in the semifinals. They held on to win 13-12. Tonight, they go into West Haven to play Daniel Hand in a rematch. They've got the first game at 5:30. Cheshire boys play Fairfield Prep in the boys' final, the game that follows at 7:30. The one outstanding question, of course, is who is the nominee, Carpenter? Well, it is sophomore Ann Eddy. Ann Eddy had a big week last week. She had 5 goals against Guilford, the team that Cheshire played before Daniel Hand in the finale. And then she scored a goal to get that second half comeback rolling. She also had 2 goals and an assist against Brantford in the SEC semifinals. Hope to see you do well tonight, Miss Eddy. And as Cheshire rolls the dice tonight against Hand and Fairfield Prep in those SEC finals, we will bid you a good day from the Record Journal Exile on 500 South Broad Street edition of the Athletes of the Week contest, brought to you and sponsored by Wallingford Buick GMC. They're putting up $5,000 for a scholarship that's going to be awarded at our Best of the Bunch Awards brunch on June 25th at the AquaTurf. It's coming in real fast. I'm starting to get really nervous, but in a good way, you know what I mean? Rebecca Lobo is our guest speaker. We're going to have a lot of people there. It's going to be a nice event. You can get tickets. They're online. Pete's going to put the address right there for you. Also, you can go online. Anybody who has been nominated for Athlete of the Week, who's been a Scholar Athlete, who's on any of our All Record Journal teams, you go online. You still have time to apply for that Wallingford Buick GMC $5,000 scholarship. We'll also be awarding a $1,000 scholarship for our Record Journal Scholar Athletes of the Year. We got a lot of decisions to make between then and now. And so do you, because right now, after watching me flub through this video and knock about on this old guitar, it's time for you to go vote for our 6 nominees in week 7. We have 2 more weeks to go. We'll be looking forward to seeing you guys next week at a state tournament game. We'll be there. Hopefully the weather's good. And we're going to roll, brother. We'll catch you, man.